Let's talk about rape. Rape is a type of sexual assault carried out against an individual without consent. Recently, the governor of Lagos State, Governor Offem-Oke, threw his weight behind the 25-year jail term for perpetrators of rape and domestic violence. Is 25 years jail term enough for these offenders? Let's take to the street to find out what people have to say. I'm Taiwan Ifoshe, and you're watching Perspective on 11 Square TV. Governor Offem-Oke of Lagos State recently signed 25 years jail term for sexual offenders and perpetrators of domestic violence. So I would like to know what you think. Is 25 years, is it enough to curb the activities of these monsters? Do you think it's enough? Do you think more should be added, or you think it should be reduced? What's your take on that, sir?
And the reason is not about 25 years. We look at the crime, the enormity of the crime. When we talk about sexual offenders, is it rape, domestic violence? Let's look at it. Some of them are very, very brutal. The 25 years is not too much, but considering the case involved, because I think it's also going to serve as a deterrent for some of us, for some people whose life has been occasioned to cause assaults, which is called domestic violence. Whether it is a rape, whether it's a human violation by, violence in the house, domestic. 25 years is good, but would that correct the problem? Do you understand? If that will correct, create people to know it is bad, it's okay, but then can it be implemented?
Oh, 25 years is enough, but to me they should even increase it more, so a lot of people will learn more lessons. Because if you rape as a rape victim is a stigma for the rest of their life. So if you rape 18 years old girl, 13 years old girl, and you don't know how long she's going to live on earth, probably is going to spend 80 years, then she's going to live with that for the rest of her life. So they just put it like 30 years, 40 years in imprisonment there, and that's fine. So since you are spoiling somebody's life, somebody's future, then what difference does it make if the person spends the rest of his life in a jail? So as for me, it's okay.
The issue of rape is shocking, because a grown-up man who has the mind to rape a baby of 5 years old or 10 years or 15 or thereabout should even be killed. For me, the 25 years is even too small. It should be life years imprisonment or be killed. That's why countries like Saudi Arabia, Iran and all that, if you rape, is killed. That will serve as a deterrent to others. So the 25 years is even too small. It should be life imprisonment.
Yeah, but let's start from somewhere. For me, rape and child defilement has become an epidemic that we need to fight about. For me, it is worse than murder. That you have taken the life of a person. You have taken the dignity of a human being without her say so. 25 years is small, but let's start from somewhere. If we can make do with 25 years and it's actually working, I want to see it working. And I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people going in for it without option of fine 25 years, then we cannot agitate for stiffer penalties if it's not yielding the desired result. But there is no penalty imposed on rape and defilement that is too much.
Well, when we say 25 imprisonment for sexual abuse, right? I will even say it's not enough, because it is a bad thing. It is destructive, you see, and it needs to be cautioned properly, because it is getting rampant, in fact, all over the globe, not in Nigeria alone. So you hear in China, you hear in particularly India, so everywhere you hear about rape system, everything like that. So I think the only way to curb this is by prosecuting the offenders, those who are doing it properly. When they are being prosecuted properly. So I think people will want to abstain or run away from this.
Do you think 25 years is enough for these monsters, or you think they should be locked behind bars forever? What's your take on that, sir?
Personally, I believe 25 years is not bad. It depends. Some people are naturally born rapists. If somebody rapes a child or whoever, a woman in any way, and they is sent to 25 years imprisonment, if that person, if it's in his blood, that person has a tendency of doing it some other time.
Why would you go and rape? When there are so many single girls out there, why would you go and rape a young lady or maybe from 0 to 12 or 15 years? So such individual either should be killed or should be sentenced to life imprisonment. Nothing more. The 25 years is too, for me, it's nonsense. It's too small. The government should do more than that. It can sentence the person to death or life imprisonment. The person should be seeing the light of the day. Why would you go and rape? It's a great offense. So I don't support that.
For those who rape people, 25 years, I think it's too small. Personally, okay, well, 25 years, it's okay. But the idea is not just about the time. The point is, the period the person is in jail, the person needs to be taught or needs to, go through some things. And when the person comes out, the person wants to do worse things. So it's not just about the time. It's about what happens during that time. Even if you give 5 years, during that 5 years, is the person becoming a better person in jail? So I think that's what matters most, not about the time. About what is being, how the person is being helped.
Okay, is the person going to be reformed?
Exactly. Okay. That's my point. Is the person going to be reformed? That should be the goal, not just the time. That should be the goal, basically. So, because when the person comes out, the person doesn't just go back to society and do worse things.
Circumstances can lead people into crime sometimes. So let's consider those people that circumstances led them into such crime. Probably after spending 25 years imprisonment, they should have learned a lesson or the other. And the prison is supposed to be a place of reformation. So if that person spent beyond that time, we'll see prison as a place of condemnation rather than a reformation. So 25 years, to me, it's not too much. And it's not even bad. But it's an opportunity for people to get reformed. Whatever might be in your psyche that makes you to behave in such manner, by the time you spend 25 years out of your life in the prison, then you must have learned a lesson. And probably, if God wishes, you'll be able to be reformed and become a better person in the future.
Because you see, sometimes when we make a law, and we don't back it up with a proper sanction, the law is nothing to write home about. What gives the law the power is the sanction behind it. So even that's why we are even experiencing all this siphoning of public funds, where leaders don't even abide by the law. So if the law is properly executed, and these law offenders will reduce, and because of the punishment they will not want to venture, or it will be reduced drastically, because there is no how you stop something. There are still some people that will still go into it, but to reduce it to the barest minimum. So I think the 25 years is good. Just for them to know that once you commit the offense, that will even make them to have the fear that if they should go into this, that is automatic 25 jail time.
Somebody is really trying. He's really working. He's doing well. But the issue of a law signing 25 years, supposedly somebody is about 50 years or 45 years and happens to be found guilty of domestic violence, adding 25 years to it, his years are gone. His lifespan will be spent in jail. So 25 years is in between who's is involved, and law is meant to guide us from brutality and abuses. But also, I think they should also look into it for the second time. If that is what will stop domestic violence, it's okay. But if it's not going to stop it, it's of no necessity. No, whether you add it to 100 years, the crime There must be one or two few people who will still be engaged in that. But we're looking at their life. Life spent in the jail is a life wasted, both to the economy and to the self.
Nigerians have spoken about the 25 years jail term for sexual offenders and perpetrators of domestic violence. They say it's not about the number of years, but about the fact that would the culprits be reformed? Proper measures should be put in place for rehabilitation and integration into the society upon their return. My name is Haiwo. Thanks for watching.